Have you ever woken up wondering why your legs feel heavy? Your joints are stiff. Or there's a lingering soreness that just won't go away, even though you've been eating right. You're staying active, getting your protein from eggs, drinking enough water, yet the discomfort sticks around. For many seniors, the issue isn't the eggs themselves, it's what they're being eaten with. That's right. The problem may lie in the combination of foods, not the individual ingredients. Eggs are known to be a nutritional powerhouse. They're packed with high-quality protein, B12, and choline, all crucial for maintaining muscle mass and brain function as we age. But for older adults, digestion changes. Our systems become more reactive to foods that cause inflammation, especially when combined improperly. Certain foods, when eaten with eggs, can quietly trigger an inflammatory response, fueling joint pain, swelling in the legs or feet, and even making nerve pain worse. This can reduce flexibility, increase arthritis flare-ups, and make daily movement more difficult. So if you're over 60 and relying on eggs for health, there's something important you need to know. Let's uncover the 6 foods you should never pair with eggs, and how avoiding these combos can help you move with more ease and less pain. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Cheese, especially processed or melted cheese. There's a certain comfort in the familiar aroma of a cheesy breakfast, an omelet bubbling with melted cheddar, or a plate of scrambled eggs folded with creamy slices of American cheese. For many seniors, it's a nostalgic start to the day, a taste of home and routine. But beneath that golden layer of comfort can lie an unexpected source of daily discomfort. What many older adults don't realize is that cheese, especially processed or melted varieties, may be quietly aggravating their joint pain, like stiffness, and overall inflammation. As we get older, our bodies become more reactive to foods that once caused no issues. The gut, which plays a key role in managing inflammation, weakens with age, its lining thins, its enzyme output drops, and its ability to handle certain ingredients declines. Unfortunately, cheese, particularly the kinds used at breakfast pre-shredded, pasteurized, shelf-stable, tends to be high in saturated fats, sodium, and casein, a milk protein that can irritate the digestive tract and trigger inflammation for those with aging immune systems. Pairing cheese with eggs, a naturally rich and dense food, creates a heavy, slow digesting combination. It may taste good going down, but for many older adults, it lingers in the system, slowing digestion and quietly setting off a cascade of internal stress. The signs may appear hours later: knees that swell, calves that cramp, ankles that feel stiff before you even get out of bed. Over time, these patterns chip away at your sense of ease. Tasks you once did without thinking: walking the dog, tending the garden, getting the paper, now feel just a bit harder. And what's most frustrating is that it doesn't feel obvious. The problem doesn't scream out at you. It's wrapped in comfort, masked by decades of habit. That slice of cheese isn't seen as a threat, it's seen as tradition. But for aging bodies, even the smallest food choice can have a large ripple effect. Yet cheese isn't the only quiet contributor to this issue. There's another category of food, often found on breakfast plates or inside lunch sandwiches, that may be doing even more harm. And unlike cheese, its reputation is already mixed, but not always for the reasons you'd expect. Let's now turn our attention to something far more processed, far more aggressive, a food that may be doing serious damage to your legs and joints with every salty bite. 2. Processed meats. Bacon, sausage, ham. For many older adults across America, the sound and smell of bacon crackling in the pan is more than just a morning routine. It's comfort, nostalgia, and tradition, all rolled into one. A plate of eggs with a side of sausage or a couple slices of ham may have been a staple for decades. But here's the truth. Few people talk about that same familiar combo could be contributing to the aching legs, stiff joints, and swollen knees that have quietly crept into your mornings. You see, processed meats like bacon, sausage, and deli ham are loaded with ingredients that can wreak havoc on the aging body. These include high levels of sodium, nitrates, preservatives, and saturated fats. When we're younger, the body is more resilient and can handle the occasional indulgence. But after treads, our systems, especially the kidneys and liver, become less efficient at flushing out these inflammatory compounds. The result: inflammation starts to build, particularly in the joints and muscles of the lower body, where blood flow is already slower with age. Now combine that with eggs, yes. Even healthy eggs, which contain natural sulfur compounds. On their own, eggs are nutritious. But when paired with processed meats, something else happens. This pairing can increase uric acid in the bloodstream, a key player in joint inflammation and gout-like symptoms. If you've ever noticed your feet throbbing after breakfast, or your knees feeling tight by mid-afternoon, it might not just be getting older. It might be what's on your plate. This low-level, chronic inflammation doesn't just bring discomfort. It quietly wears you down. It limits your movement, adds to your fall risk, and saps energy, not just physically but emotionally. 2. Over time, it eats away at your independence, making activities like walking, gardening, or even standing for long periods more challenging than they should be. So the next time you're about to toss that sausage into the pan, take a breath and consider, is the comfort of the flavor really worth the hours of discomfort that might follow? And here's the surprising part. What you're pairing with your eggs might be just as harmful. That golden slice of toast or morning bagel might seem harmless, even healthy. But could it also be part of the problem? Let's take a closer look at why certain types of bread could be quietly adding to your joint pain. 3. Refined carbohydrates. White bread, Bagels muffins. There's a certain warmth in starting your morning with a soft slice of toast, a lightly toasted bagel, or even a muffin alongside your eggs. For many older adults, these foods bring back memories of family breakfasts, quiet mornings, and a sense of comfort. But as we age, the body becomes more sensitive to what used to be harmless routines. And sometimes, that very comfort food is part of what's fueling our daily pain. Refined carbohydrates like white toast, plain bagels, and traditional muffins may taste innocent, but their effects on the aging body are anything but. These foods have been processed in a way that strips away fiber and nutrients. What's left is a starch that quickly converts into sugar once eaten. This rapid sugar surge causes blood glucose levels to spike, and in response, the body sends out inflammatory signals to try to control the perceived threat. These inflammatory responses may not seem like a big deal in your 30s or 40s, but after TRES, The picture changes. Your metabolism slows. Your circulation becomes less efficient. And your joints, especially in the knees, ankles, and feet bear the brunt of your daily movements. That inflammation doesn't pass quickly. It lingers, becoming low-grade and chronic, leading to stiffness, swelling, and pain that seems to appear for no clear reason. And when you pair those refined carbs with eggs, a rich source of fat and protein, your digestive system faces an extra burden. It slows digestion further, keeping your blood sugar elevated longer and worsening the inflammatory cascade. Over time, this cycle wears down joint tissues and contributes to that heavy-legged feeling many seniors describe when walking or standing. It's no longer just about what tastes good in the moment. It's about what supports your health long-term. A simple breakfast can either fuel energy and strength or quietly erode it. So, before reaching for that familiar piece of toast or baked good, consider what your body is truly asking for. And if you're someone who likes to top your eggs with a handful of vegetables thinking it's the healthier route, you may be surprised to learn that certain veggies could also be making joint discomfort worse, especially in older adults. Let's take a closer look at nightshade vegetables and why they might not be as joint-friendly as we've been led to believe. 4. Nightshade vegetables: tomatoes, peppers, potatoes. Throughout our lives, we've been taught that vegetables are always a smart choice full of vitamins, fiber, and vibrant colors that signal health. And while that's true in many cases, not every vegetable is ideal for aging bodies. In fact, for seniors living with joint stiffness, leg pain, or arthritis, some vegetables may quietly be contributing to daily discomfort without you realizing it. Consider nightshade vegetables: tomatoes, bell peppers, white potatoes, and eggplants. They often appear in breakfast dishes tossed into a vegetable scramble or served alongside eggs. But while they may look nutritious, these particular vegetables contain a compound called solanine. In certain individuals, solanine can irritate nerve pathways and worsen inflammation. It's not dangerous for everyone, but in older adults, where the liver and kidneys may not filter toxins as efficiently as they once did, solanine can gradually build up in the system. When this happens, the joints often speak first: swelling, stiffness, or burning sensations, especially in the knees, feet, or hips, can quietly appear after meals or during early mornings. The pain might be mistaken for aging, arthritis, or even nerve problems, but in many cases, the root issue could be dietary. Nightshades may be silently fanning the flames of inflammation already present due to age-related changes. What's particularly frustrating is that these vegetables are often paired with eggs, another rich, dense food that can slow digestion in older adults. The combination may seem wholesome, but for those sensitive to solanine, it becomes a trigger for a cascade of pain responses. It doesn't happen overnight. The process is slow, almost invisible, accumulating over time until one day walking feels harder, balance becomes less steady, and mornings start with an ache instead of ease. If you've noticed unexplained joint discomfort or leg heaviness despite eating what seems like a healthy breakfast, it might be worth experimenting with eliminating nightshades for a few weeks to see if symptoms improve. You might be surprised at how much lighter you feel without them. But vegetables aren't the only hidden troublemakers. Sometimes, it's the sweet touches we add thinking they're harmless that do just as much damage. That little bit of jam, the splash of orange juice, The bowl of fruit beside your eggs. Could those be fueling your leg pain too? What we explore next may shift the way you think about sugar at the breakfast table. 5. Sugar, jam, jelly, ketchup, or sweetened drinks. There's a familiar comfort in a touch of sweetness to start the day. A dab of jelly on warm toast, a drizzle of syrup on pancakes, or that refreshing glass of orange juice beside your morning eggs. For many older adults, these simple pleasures bring back memories of family breakfasts, quiet mornings, and well-earned moments of joy. But what's often overlooked is how even a small amount of added sugar can quietly contribute to the aches, stiffness, and leg pain many seniors begin to experience as we age. Our body's ability to manage sugar declines significantly. The pancreas works harder. Insulin becomes less effective, and the body's response to glucose becomes more sluggish. This means that what once felt like a harmless indulgence now has a very different impact. Sugar doesn't just affect energy levels or weight, it causes inflammation. And for aging joints and nerves, that inflammation can mean pain. When sugar hits the bloodstream, it triggers sharp increases in insulin and glucose, which irritate the soft tissues around joints and blood vessels. Repeated over time, this process leads to something called glycation, where excess sugar binds to proteins and stiffens tissues. It interferes with cartilage function, restricts circulation, and sets the stage for persistent discomfort, particularly in the legs, knees, and feet. You might not realize that the tingling in your toes, the aching behind your knees, or the fatigue in your calves could be connected to the teaspoon of jam you stirred into your oatmeal. But inside your body, sugar is leaving its mark. For older adults dealing with diabetes, borderline blood sugar, or poor vascular health, even seemingly minor sugar intake can quietly escalate problems. The result is not just fatigue, but reduced healing, slower recovery, and increased vulnerability to injury and joint degeneration. And the most challenging part, sugar doesn't always wear a warning label. It hides in condiments, spreads, healthy cereals, and fruit drinks that promise vitality but deliver inflammation. It's not about removing every trace of sweetness, it's about becoming aware of how much is too much, and how it makes you feel after the fact. But sugar isn't the only unexpected threat at the breakfast table. Sometimes, the very ingredient you've chosen as a healthier alternative to butter, the one labeled as heart-friendly or cholesterol-free, might be doing more harm than the thing it was meant to replace. Let's take a closer look. 6. Margarine, or artificial butter substitutes. For years, margarine was hailed as the better butter, a smart, modern upgrade meant to protect your heart and lower cholesterol. Many older adults made the switch with good intentions, believing they were doing something kind for their bodies. It was sold as the safe alternative. But time and research have painted a different picture. Far from being harmless, margarine, especially the types made with hydrogenated oils, may be one of the most harmful things you can add to your breakfast, particularly when paired with eggs. As we grow older, the body becomes more sensitive to the fats we consume. Our joints are more delicate, or artères less flexibles, and our ability to recover from inflammation slows down. Margarine, unlike natural fats, is heavily processed. It's created through chemical transformations that result in trans fats, man-made compounds, so damaging they've been restricted or banned in many parts of the world. These fats don't just raise bad cholesterol, they actively harm the body's systems for managing inflammation and circulation. When used in cooking, especially over heat, Margarine releases oxidative byproducts that attack the integrity of joint tissue and blood vessels. For older adults already dealing with slow circulation or arthritis, this can mean worsening leg pain, more swelling in the ankles, tightness in the calves, or even sudden nighttime cramps. And because these effects don't happen all at once, the real cause often goes unnoticed. The spread on your toast or the oil in your frying pan may not look like a threat, but inside the body, it's fueling the very stiffness and soreness that keep you from moving freely. Many seniors assume these symptoms are just part of aging, but when we dig deeper, we often find that diet plays a bigger role than expected. It's not just about avoiding cholesterol anymore. It's about reducing silent inflammation and supporting strong flamsif to the 4G. Flexible joints and smooth blood flow into the legs and feet. If this sounds familiar, don't worry, there are still safe, nourishing ways to enjoy eggs and all the comfort they bring. The key is to rethink what you pair them with, the fats you cook with, the sides you serve, and even the time of day can influence how your body responds. So let's take a step back, zoom out, and talk about what a truly senior-friendly breakfast looks like. One that supports strength, comfort, and freedom in your day-to-day life. 7. Why these combinations are dangerous for seniors. As the years pass, we begin to realize that not all harm comes with flashing signs or sudden symptoms. Some of the most harmful effects on our health creep in quietly day by day, meal by meal, through habits that once felt harmless. For many seniors, the familiar comfort of breakfast eggs with a side of toast, a bit of bacon, melted cheese, or even a touch of jam can seem like a cherished routine. But behind these routines may lie the root of chronic inflammation, the hidden force behind so much of the discomfort aging bodies endure. It's not always the individual foods that are the problem, it's the way they combine and how they interact inside a body that's no longer processing things as it once did. Over time, digestion slows. Our sensitivity to sugar, salt, and processed fats increases. What was once just a hearty breakfast in our 50s can, by our 70s, set off a chain reaction of inflammation, joint swelling, and nerve irritation. These food combinations can spike blood sugar, raise uric acid level, and overwork a digestive system already stretched thin. Inflammation builds not just in the gut, but throughout the body, especially in areas already under strain, like the knees, ankles, and lower back. The signs might seem unrelated at first: a twinge in the leg, a sense of heaviness after sitting, difficulty rising from a chair. Many chalk it up to aging, not realizing that breakfast may be playing a bigger role than they ever imagined. The real trouble is how quietly it all unfolds. Day after day, these food pairings add up, and yet, the solution is just as subtle. Small changes, gently applied. You don't need to give up the foods you love. Eggs, for instance, can still be part of a nourishing morning. The key is avoiding the specific pairings that tip the balance toward pain. And in this lies a sense of hope. You're not powerless in the face of aging. Your meals can either be a source of inflammation or a step toward healing. By learning what to pair and what not to, you begin to shift your relationship with food from habit to intention. Each bite becomes an opportunity to support your body, protect your joints, and reclaim the comfort that aging often threatens to take away. 8. What should seniors eat with eggs instead? There's something enduringly comforting about eggs. They're humble, nourishing, and familiar, an anchor of consistency in a life full of change. For older adults, eggs can remain one of the most supportive foods available. They're packed with high-quality protein, easy to digest, and provide nutrients essential for maintaining cognitive function, physical strength, and daily energy. But the secret to unlocking their full potential in your golden years isn't just about preparation, it's about partnership. What you serve alongside your eggs can determine whether they nourish or inflame. Instead of combining eggs with salty processed meats or refined white bread, consider pairing them with ingredients that support healing and reduce inflammation. Lightly sautéed greens such as kale, chard, or spinach in olive oil not only enhance flavor but offer powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. A few slices of ripe avocado deliver healthy fats that cushion joints and improve heart health without the hidden dangers of processed cheese. For those who want a bit of starch, turn to options like roasted sweet potatoes or a scoop of quinoa. These complex carbohydrates digest slowly, giving you energy without the crash or the blood sugar spikes that worsen joint pain. Even the cooking method matters. Try poaching or steaming your eggs, or pan cooking them with a small amount of olive or coconut oil. Avoid frying in butter substitutes or piling on high-sodium condiments. Those small choices have bigger consequences over time. These aren't drastic changes. They're gentle adjustments rooted in intention. Choosing better pairings isn't about sacrificing pleasure, it's about honoring your body's changing needs. When you make thoughtful food choices, you're not just feeding yourself, you're strengthening the very foundation of your mobility and comfort. You're giving your knees more flexibility, your feet more stability, and your mornings a bit more lightness. The foods we eat in our later years either help us stay independent or slowly chip away at that freedom. Eggs can still be a wonderful part of your day, but they do best surrounded by foods that support rather than strain. And when you start your morning this way, you're not just eating, you're choosing to walk through life with greater ease and less pain. Your plate holds more power than you think. At this chapter in life, everything becomes more meaningful. Every movement, every breath, every choice. Especially the choices we make at the table. The foods we eat aren't just about hunger or habit anymore. They've become signals to the body, shaping how we feel, how we move, and how we age. Breakfast, for many, is a moment of comfort and routine. But for older adults, it can also be a turning point, either toward healing or toward pain. So many of us have clung to familiar pairings: eggs with bacon, toast with jam, melted cheese over a scramble. These meals may feel harmless. They may even feel like home. But with time, I've come to see that what soothes the heart isn't always kind to the body. That familiar flavors can carry hidden consequences: stiffness in the knees, swelling in the feet, aches that seem to appear without reason. I know this not just from books, but from life. I once believed if something made me feel good in the moment, it must be okay. But as the years went on, I began to notice patterns: how certain foods left me feeling slower, heavier, achier than before. That's when I realized that breakfast, of all things, held more power than I gave it credit for. Food, I've learned, is a daily dialogue between who we used to be and who we want to remain. And every meal is a chance to speak wisely to the body that's carried us so far. You don't need to give up eggs. You just need to give them the right companions. Because the way you feel when you stand, when you walk, when you bend to tend a garden or hug a grandchild, it's not just age. It's the outcome of choices that add up over time. If you've been living with leg discomfort, joint tightness, or lingering fatigue, Try starting with what's on your plate. You're never too old to change direction. You're never too late to choose better. If something in this message resonates with you, I'd love to know what's one small change you're ready to make. Share it in the comments, and let's encourage each other. And if this video helped you, please consider liking, subscribing, and joining us for more tips that honor your health and your journey. Your body is still listening. Let's give it something kind to hear.